When I look at a tablet, I usually look for three things: the display, the performance, and the accessories. And Xiaomi pretty much covers all the bases with the Xiaomi Pad 7 Pro. It has a great display, great internals that gives you elite performance, and their new Focus keyboard really helps you do more. Now, because this is the Pro model, you will be expected to pay a bit of a Pro price tag with this of 29,999 pesos, but is it worth it? Let's back things up and discuss why I think it is. Let's start with the display, since that's what I mentioned first. It's an 11.2-inch IPS LCD display at 144 Hz with really good pixel density thanks to its 3.2K resolution. Could they have put an OLED panel on this? Sure, but that's going to add to its price tag, and honestly, this is more than good enough for your day-to-day needs, may it be for work or just kicking back at the end of the day to watch your favorite shows on Netflix. Now, one of the downsides of this display is that it might be a bit tough to use it outdoors since it only has 800 nits of peak brightness, but more often than not, you're going to be using this indoors anyway, but it is worth noting. And just like most tablets in and around this price point, this has quad speakers that are well balanced for taking calls, listening to music, or watching YouTube videos. And here's a bit of a speaker test so you know what it kind of sounds like. Alright, so I think I pretty much covered the display on the Xiaomi Pad 7 Pro, but what about its performance? Now, I did mention that it was elite, but it doesn't have a Snapdragon 8 Elite processor. But you are still getting great internals on board. You have a Snapdragon 8S Gen 3, which is still very, very capable. This is paired with 12GB of RAM and 512GB of storage on our review unit. Taking a look at the benchmarks and comparing them to one of the previous Xiaomi tablets we were able to review, you can see that the performance is pretty much what you would expect from a tablet like the S7 Pro, but that's only a small part of the story when it comes to performance, of course. We took the Xiaomi Pad S7 Pro with us to Barcelona to cover MWC, and it's what Leia used to edit her videos on CapCut, write her scripts, and coordinate with her team back at home, and it did not disappoint. Of course, we also had Dewey and Oliver test out some Genshin Impact gameplay, so you can see that if you want to play games on this tablet, you definitely can as well. Now, in terms of battery life, our battery benchmarks had this clock in at 11 hours and 28 minutes, which is within a respectable range. This translates to a day and a half of moderate use. Again, not bad at all considering what you're getting with this tablet. It also supports 67-watt charging, so if you need to top up, you can do it relatively quickly. In terms of software, this is running on Android 15 with Xiaomi's Hyper OS 2.0 on top of it. So yes, we will have to deal with the quirks it brings to the table, but the UI has improved a lot. And it really is too bad that the downsides kinda outshine all the improvements that they've made. Okay, last thing, accessories. And I think this is very important since tablets are kind of pushed as laptop alternatives nowadays. And I think that Xiaomi did a really good job with everything that they're offering with the Xiaomi Pad S7 Pro. Now, if you're a digital artist, I honestly can't help you out in this department since the extent of my digital drawing capabilities is pretty much drawing stick figures. But I know that this is very software dependent, and from what I know, Android is still playing catch up. But since I have little to no experience with this, I highly suggest looking for other videos to help you out when it comes to drawing on the Xiaomi Pad 7 Pro. But the best accessory that they introduced is their Focus keyboard. And I'm going to be straight up and just say that it looks like they copied Apple's homework, but I see why. The floating keyboard design simply works and gives you a better overall experience versus what you would typically see on most Android tablets. The keyboard also feels really nice to type on and surprisingly didn't feel cramped for me. It's also backlit if you need to do work at night, which is a little nice touch as well. The Pad 7 or 7 Pro will of course attach magnetically to the Focus keyboard and connect automatically via the pogo pins, and it's on there pretty nicely. I mean, I wouldn't toss this around and you still have to be careful, but it's on there really good. If there's one thing I wish it had, it's a USB-C pass-through for charging, because as it is, you have to use the USB-C on the tablet itself, which kind of ruins the aesthetic when you do need to top it up, but it's not a deal breaker. Now, before we wrap this up, in terms of design, there's nothing really groundbreaking about any tablet design we've seen so far, But what I will say about the build quality on the Xiaomi 7 Pro is that it feels premium. It has a metal build, but is still relatively lightweight, and it is sturdy because it did survive a bit of a drop test while we were reviewing this. Sorry, Xiaomi. Okay, let's wrap this up. Should you get the Xiaomi Pad 7 Pro? Plain and simple, if you're in the market for a new tablet and your budget allows for it, then I definitely think that the Xiaomi Pad 7 Pro is worth considering. In my and Leia's experience with this tablet, it does not disappoint and didn't let us down when we had to do a ton of work for Mobile World Congress. We used this in our downtime to watch shows in our B&B while we were there, and we were extremely happy with both the display and the speakers on this thing. Plus, the ecosystem that they built with all the accessories definitely made things a whole lot easier for us, especially with the new Focus keyboard. Now, it does nearly cost 30,000 pesos, but this is considered a flagship Android tablet, so it's to be expected. And there is a more affordable option if you need one, the Xiaomi Pad 7, which has a Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 3 processor, but remains the same across the board. Now, I can't vouch for its performance since we haven't had the chance to test it out, but if you're mostly going to be dealing with lighter tasks, then it might be worth considering too, since all the accessories I've mentioned are compatible with the base Pad 7 as well. So what do you guys think of the Xiaomi Pad 7 Pro? Let me know in the comment section, but that's pretty much it for this one. My name is Tito James. Peace, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time.